A few months ago, we had Dr. Alan Kramer as a guest on our podcast to discuss starting a small business manufacturing collagen supplements to help people with joint pain and explain how he got started, his background, and how collagen supplements actually help people with joint pain. Since then, we've had many people contact us to tell us that they have found some companies promoting a 30-day collagen challenge online for treating joint pain. After doing some online research, we found that several companies were promoting this claim and felt it was best to have Dr. Kramer on again for his expertise with collagen supplements and his thoughts on the subject. Today, on a special follow-up edition of Small Business Talks. There's a lot of hype, especially on the internet, about collagen supplements. And there's even a lot of companies saying a 30-day collagen challenge is what they're recommending. And we really want to discuss, is 30 days really enough to be able to make the changes to provide joint health? Today with us, we've got Dr. Alan Kramer, president of Sioux Biochemical and owner of SB Edge Supplements, to help us sort through the hype and the reality of collagen supplements, and that 30 days, we should really be looking at 90-day challenge, not a 30-day challenge. So welcome to the podcast, Dr. Kramer. How are you doing today?
Hey, thank you. Glad to be here today to be with you.
Let's just start out with, we're going to get into the specifics of it. There's a lot of people out there promoting, collagen supplements, and all you need is 30 days to get involved in it. And in our last discussion, we talked about the process and things that were involved in it. Is that an effective saying, or is that kind of like is it more hype to say 30 days?
Well, it's a hype. Okay. Generally speaking, a person, when they experience some collagen loss, which could be osteoporosis or some other situations, that means that the cartilage has been damaged to such an extent that you're hitting the nerves that are embedded in the cartilage. And then when you start having motion, those nerves send a signal, which is pain, which is telling you that there's something amiss. There's something not working quite right in your cartilage, your bones. Today we're going to talk mainly about bone health or joint health. And there's something wrong, okay? It's a signal that the cartilage isn't the way it should be.
What can cause some of these issues with cartilage damage and all that? Is it just age, or what are some of the things that cause that?
Okay, there are three causes. Number one is age. As you get older, sometimes the mechanism for rebuilding the cartilage is slower than the mechanism that is destroying. Naturally, your cartilage has a turnover in your body. That means some of the old cartilage molecules are replaced with new ones. Now, especially in the joints, there is a turnover. And so you have some of the molecules being, I'm going to say the word removed, and the new ones are following it. But now, with activity, that's the normal side, but with normal activity, the stress on the joint causes it to wear out quicker. And it's only renewed or replaced at a certain speed. And if the damage is greater than the ability to repair the damage, you hit what they call your nerves, and it becomes painful. And that's a signal that your cartilage, you either have to slow down the use there and have the cartilage get caught up, or you have to tell the cartilage to speed up and keep growing because you have more activity.
Why is 30 days not enough time for this to do the job right?
Okay. The reason it can't go yet is there are cells that have to be told to start making additional cartilage. So when you experience pain, there's three steps. Number one, you have to repair the cartilage that's underneath the joint. Then you make a protective coating on top of the joint where the joint meets the joint. That is a cartilage cover. And then there's fluid in between those two so that when the joints move, flexible, they are lubricated and they are healthy. both sides, the two sides of the joint are both healthy, and there's a lubrication, and then it's pain-free.
Okay. I'm going to delve a little bit more into that as well, because obviously there's different types of collagen out there. Is there a specific type of collagen suited better than another one for doing repair? Why is 30 days not enough time for this to do the job right?
Okay. The reason it can't go yet is there are cells that have to be told to start making additional cartilage. So when you experience pain, there's a 3 steps. Number 1, you have to repair the cartilage that's underneath the joint. Then you make a protective coating on top of the joint where the joint meets the joint. That is a cartilage cover. And then there's a fluid in between those two so that when the joints move, flexible, they are lubricated and they are healthy. Both sides, the two sides of the joint are both healthy, and there's a lubrication, and then it's pain-free.
Okay. I'm going to delve a little bit more into that as well, because obviously there's different types of collagen out there. Is there a specific type of collagen suited better than another one for doing repair?
Yes, your body has to be told that the repair is going to happen. Everybody can have pain, and most people just mask the pain with pain relievers. That does not improve the ability to replace the damaged cartilage. Collagen has to have, I'm going to use the word, a tag on the collagen molecule that says you should go and repair your other collagen. Now, if your collagen is water soluble, you have damaged that tag, and that tag isn't there really to trigger your body to make new collagen. It has to be triggered by a mechanism that is really only on the type 2 collagen. And we can go into all that, but there's a tag on the side that says you have to, and it tells you how to do it. So it'll instruct the body how to produce new collagen. There's big fancy words like osteoclast, and those are the cells that grow, and they have to be triggered to start making new collagen. They make it slowly, but this tag says you have to speed up the production of the collagen in that joint that's been worn out by stress or by action.
What type, or is there a specific type of supplement of collagen that people should be looking for that would be more effective than another one?
Okay. Generally speaking, the mechanism for triggering the formation of the cartilage is found on the molecule itself, but 90% of it is destroyed by the molecule should maintain its integrity. When you make it water soluble, you chop it up into little tiny fragments, little threads, and they lose their integrity. And the water soluble molecules will not have the ability to trigger the response that the body is looking for to regrow the collagen in the joints.
How would somebody know it is a water-based collagen product versus a non-water-based?
If it's soluble in water, if you can just pour it in your glass, it's water soluble. Our product is insoluble.
Got it. Do they ever mention that on the packaging, insoluble or soluble?
You never want to mention that, okay?
Okay, got it. So looking at that, I notice also like the SB Edge is a type 2 collagen. Maybe just give us a brief overview. What are the different types? How many different types are there? And maybe a little background on each one of them, or what,
Okay, well, there's collagen is a molecule, and it has a certain molecular structure.
Okay.
And depends where the collagen came from, determines its structure, okay? And so your collagen is found in skin. That's a certain type. And then there's collagen in joints, and then there's collagen in your bones. Collagen gives strength to your bones, and that's important. And for skin, Collagen forms the structure underneath the skin that gives the skin support. And when you lose that support, you get a wrinkle. That means the collagen in your skin is not being maintained enough, and it'll break down and it's not replaced, and that forms a wrinkle. So that's the other kind. In skin, it's a wrinkle. On bones, it's weak bones, but in joints, it's painful.
So one of the recommendations that I think we're making here is that we should be looking at a 90-day, if we want to call it a collagen challenge, a 90-day versus a 30-day, simply because of the process of your body needing to be able to make all these adjustments so that it's effectively working.
Let me answer that in 2 sentences.
Okay.
Your damaged collagen looks like sandpaper on sandpaper, a joint. Both sides are damaged, and where they come into contact, they are rough. And by that rough, you hit nerves, and every time your joint moves, there is pain. And that's called a worn out joint because it's exposing the nerves. A damaged joint looks like sandpaper on sandpaper. There are pits. Okay? And every time you move, it hurts because it's friction.
Right.
So it takes 30 days for us to start filling up the pits to make it a level surface for the next section of the collagen, which is the skin on top of it, so that this skin can be lubricated so that the two sides of the joint are smooth and lubricated like the day you were born. You got to have a joint that's smooth, lubricated, and then the nerves are covered, so there's no pain.
You do a bovine type collagen, correct?
Yes.
Okay. That is any specific advantages of bovine over what other type of collagen is there?
Well, the main ones is a lot of times there's some from fish. A lot of fish byproducts are turned into fish collagen. If you look at most collagens, which are called type 1 and 3, they come from cow hides from Brazil, and they just take a hide of a cow and they put it in a solution of acid, and they just make it soluble, and they just literally destroy it with acid, and it becomes soluble. They dry that, and 75% of the collagen you see in a store is called type 1 and 3, and it comes from the skin of cows, and it has maybe a purpose, but it's probably only 10% of the activity of a collagen that came from where we get ours.
Okay.
Ours is not from the skin. The type 2 collagen, there are a couple other ones, but the bovine is actually the best one.
Okay.
It triggers your body. There is a molecule that goes right into your body, and it triggers. It's a long name. There's an osteoblast and an osteoclast. Osteoclast is the cell that is the builder of collagen. It's your collagen builder. It's a cell that goes to work, and he just makes collagen all day long somewhere. And he is only told to work when he is getting the contact from a certain molecule, and that will be the molecule that's found on the side of the type 2 collagen.
Okay, that's important because that's something you need to look at, because realizing that you need to have the trigger first before you can really have any kind of moving forward in relief and in rebuilding the collagen. Then
you got it right.
Anything else that we should know as a consumer? What should we know and look for when we look at a collagen supplement? What are some realistic expectations, and what are things as a consumer we should be looking at?
There are collagen comes from a type 1 and 3, which is skin.
Right.
Collagen type 2 comes from another part of the animal. And right now we're using this from a trachea. And a trachea is strong and it's kind of tough. Okay. And it is a fibrous molecule, and it's flexible and strong. And those are the two things. And it won't wear out right away. And the second thing, it has the ability, like a trachea, it can move back and forth, being very flexible. And that's what you want to find when you have like a joint. Most joints are flexible, and you would like to see the ability that movement in the joint doesn't cause pain.
I should have asked this earlier, and I think for our listeners is maybe this is not your opinion, but maybe if you give a little bit of your background to explain How come you know so much about supplements, collagen supplements?
Okay, first of all, I have an academic background. I almost have like a PhD in protein chemistry. I've spent years of research at the National Institute of Health and other places doing years of research on proteins. They were other proteins, but you have to know what a protein does. And a protein has every protein has a unique fingerprint when it is allowed in nature. But if it's destroyed, it's like having a protein is like a roadmap on your life. It forms a special place. That protein could be in a skin or your eyes or your heart or your lungs. They're all proteins, and they all have a signal that tells them to repair the damage. It's a living system, and if it's not taken care of, you can have heart damage, you can have damage to your intestines, you can have damage to your bones, you can have skin damage. In a minute, we'll talk about, if you want to hit about the other thing, is the collagen loss on bones is the joint, but the main thing we have is collagen loss in your skin. And this is off the point, but when you are looking at your skin, and especially for men and women as they get older, the collagen is the scaffold that holds your skin up. A breakdown in your collagen under the skin will form a wrinkle. That just means there's a ditch, and that has been collagen underneath that wrinkle has been broken. It'll take really the type 2 collagen is the one that will build up that wrinkle underneath, and you can actually see wrinkles go away there. And we have all the science that show that if you want to get rid of the wrinkles, that's not joints. The collagen that we have definitely will remove most of the wrinkles on your face. Our body is all collagen. We have collagen in your intestines, and that can be cause pain because your intestines has to be coated with a collagen surface so that the acids and the bases and all the different foods you send through there is correctly processed by your body, but it shouldn't damage the intestine that it's going through. And it can be infected, and you get ulcerative colitis, and you can get all these different things basically are caused by a breakdown of the collagen, allowing the molecules of food to get into the bloodstream, which causes a violent reaction. You really want to maintain the integrity of the intestine, but that's part of it. But today we're just talking about joints, but joints are so important too for flexibility. So you have a damaged joint, and it looks like sandpaper on sandpaper.
Right.
That's what it looks like. It'll take at least 1 month to fill up the sandpaper and make it smooth. Those damaged, those dimples, that rough structure has to be made smooth like a sheet of paper again, like it started. Those molecules have to work pretty hard to fill in those gaps that were caused by the damage. It looks like sandpaper. You have to make sandpaper into a nice sheet of white paper, and the collagen will do it, but it takes time. It has to start working, and it has to build that scaffolding back up to make it smooth on top. That takes at least 30 days with the type collagen 2. Then once you get the surface, they want that surface to be thicker. You should have the collagen on your bone. If you look at it, it's probably 5 or 6 centimeters thick, so it's absorbent. That is your shock absorber. So you have to have a collagen sheath on both sides to absorb shock. And so you got to make that collagen, first get it to the surface, then you have to form the collagen sheet underneath so that the other side, the collagen sheet, you'll have 2 nice pieces of paper looking like that. And then between the 3rd month, it has to start lubricating those again. So you have 2 smooth surface with a lubricant. That will take 90 days minimum. It could take as much as 120, but you will get there. We've got all the science, all the clinical trials. We've got people who show you they take an x-ray of it when they are damaged. They'll take an x-ray 30 days later. Sure enough, there it is. They take an x-ray 60 Days later, they can see it in an X-ray. 90 days, they can just see that it's almost normal. So the clinical proof is unmistakable. We know it works. It's been proven over and over and over again that after 90 days, you can regrow the collagen through the molecule that we're using.
That is very important because I think, like I said, when you go online and you type it in, it's 30 days, 30 days, 30 days. And I know in our previous conversations, I know there was a process, and it's like, we need to help people understand that they need to be looking at, why 30 versus 90. And I think what you just explained really details out there's a reason for it. It's not a marketing thing. It's the scientific process that, that has to take place.
That is correct.
How would somebody learn more about your product, SB Edge, and learn more about your background?
Okay. If you look at the website, okay. And there's a short bio, and then we have scientific articles that deal with this. And so you can just look up the science. We can put down and say it, but we will document any statement that we make on our website with scientific articles, and we can just show you the articles, and you can look them up yourself. This has been proven over and over and over and over again. This is nothing new. This science has been around for 30, 50 years about joint pain, okay? And this is not a new thing. It's just that we're one of the first people to come out with a molecule that can repair it the fastest. Now, if you do something else, it might take a year because most of that molecule you're taking is damaged. There might be a small amount of active. A 1,3 has a very small amount of this. You'd have to take 10 times 1 and 3 to get rid of to just what 1x of ours would do. We are the best in the market. We are the best your body has ever seen to repair.
I'm just looking online here. The website is sb-edge, edge.com.
Correct.
And I can see where I can see your bio, and I also see the medical articles is what it's listed as. So that would be where all that information is. People can actually go and actually see everything you're saying is actually backed up on with case studies and with medical information.
That's right. We've got, it is solid proof that our product has worked. And we've done it in trials, 20 years. We can go back and the original research but a lot of people, ours is expensive because we just don't take a cowhide from Brazil, stick it in acid and make it soluble and dry it. You can call it collagen, but it's damaged collagen that you're taking in the 1 and the 3 type products. And so it probably has 5 to 10% of the activity it should have had because it was made water soluble, and the powerful acid that it took to digest it has destroyed the important markers on it.
I think something important, and I picked this up from the last time we talked, was that you were also a US made product. You're very strong on traceability, so you know exactly where things came from, all the quality and all that. And that would be another important thing, is that the quality that you're offering is also superior to what a lot of other companies are offering.
Yeah, we agree. We're totally, like you said, we're FDA regulated. We have traceability on every bottle. We could tell you where the cartilage came from, what slaughterhouse in the US that it was produced, and we could show you the recipe that we used and the activity we found on it before we put it in the pill. Is this important for women? That was one of the articles you're discussing with me between men and women.
Right.
And just a medical fact that when women hit menopause, the next 20 years, between 40 and 60, their body will lose 40 to 50% of the collagen just because they have gone through this experience of menopause, and it'll cause collagen loss, wrinkles. It will cause issues with digestion. It'll cause bone getting tender and losing its ability, and it'll cause effect on hair. And so we do have articles on our website dealing with those issues also. About for women, this is a big deal for women. Besides their joints, it would be important for their skin. It can in about a couple months, most of wrinkles can be gone. And we've shown this is all science stuff. We have pictures of women with a wrinkle and 3 months later, they don't have it. So you don't have to listen to us. We can just show you all the scientific data, how it really works on women who are going through menopause. And it's a tremendous shock to their systems, what happens. And very few people know that they lose 40 to 50% in 20 years. And so brittle bones, wrinkles, hair that falls out, and joint pain can affect women. And so we've been hitting that pretty hard, telling women that if you're in that age, we hear women just report to us that it has been so important in their lives to have taken it.
Again, this has been, as I said, I'm looking at the website. There's a lot of articles on there. And I mean, it's what I like is that it's not just marketing fluff. It's actually, you can actually see what this can do. And you're giving people the science and the information to make the right decisions. And they need to understand all of the things that we're talking about. So I thank you for, it's been a great, podcast, because I think you're giving information and you're kind of giving the reality of what's out there and what people need to understand for this to effectively help them. I'll give you the last word if there's anything you'd like to add on to or summarize.
Well, thank you for letting me be on today. We want to get the accurate information out. Our health is very important to us. Our gut health, our bone health, our skin health. All this health is so important. As we get aging, there's an assault on our health just because of what we're doing with aging. A lot of it is caused by a loss of collagen, either in your skin, your blood vessels. Well, someday we'll have to talk about what happens when your blood vessels are affected by loss of collagen, and they get hard and they get hardening of the arteries. And that instantly leads to brain problems like dementia. So all can be traced back to blood vessels in your body that are losing their collagen, becoming brittle, slowing the process of blood to the brain. And everybody will agree to right now, the scientists, that dementia is mainly caused by a lack of blood flow to the brain. That is all over the science. So we all worry about our thinking process, memory. We are really going to show you that if we can improve blood flow to the brain, you will have a healthy mental health, and a healthy brain affects your entire body.
Well, thank you again. I can't thank enough. We had Dr. Kramer on once before, and we wanted him back because there was just so much more. And we had a lot of people, listen to the first podcast, and they've given us feedback, which we always encourage people after they listen, if they have questions, definitely subscribe to the channel, and certainly, contact us with questions. But again, thank you very much for a very informative lecture and discussion on it. I think it's been very helpful, and I really hope people will take to heart everything that you've talked about. And we will link your website and information about your company in the show notes on the podcast. So again, just my very much thank you for taking the time out and spending some time with us.
And thank you for having me on your show today.
We'd like to thank you for listening to our podcast. We're very interested in hearing your thoughts about our podcast and invite you to contact us. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to our channel and share the link with a friend.